Okay, nice little log question. Definitely log, wave function, further calculus, three big hitters. Technically tricky, but the question's always very similar, so you get some good marks. And because the questions are quite similar, nice and easy to spot, and it's quite procedural. So if you know a few of the questions and you memorize them, you can do quite well. So definitely worth looking into. I know people hate logs, but actually, when you think about it, not the worst thing. So first thing I would always do, get your Rosetta Stone just to remind you what's going on. So log 10 of 100 is equal to 2. So what I mean by that, just a little guide to remind me what's going on. So that reminds me, if I move the 10 over here, then 100 is equal to 10 to the power of 2. Okay, that's what this is telling me. It's a bit like a time machine. It's saying 10 to the power of what is 100. That's effectively what your log's doing. Okay, so it's working back the way from your exponentials. It is the inverse of your exponentials. Remember your inverse is mirrored across that 45-degree line. There's an exponential, there's a log function. And if that point there was 1, 2, then over here this point would be 2, 1. You flip around your x and y's when you do your inverse function. So just thinking about that. But this gets people, don't be confused. 10 to the power of what's 100? 10 to the power of 2. That's my answer, okay? So just remember that. So with that being said, let's have a look. The other things we need to remember are different rules of logs. So the first thing is when, and this only works when the log is the same base, by the way, so if you've not got the same base, you can't do that. But you should get the same base. We can move our 2 up to the top. So there's our first point. So I've got log 10, so 5 squared is going to give me 25. Okay, so I can do that first of all. When I add them, I multiply the arguments, so I get 100. Oh, there we go. So I actually wrote the answer down without even realizing it. So 10 to the power of what is 100? So the answer there is going to be 2. Not bad for 3 marks. Okay, so you're allowed to move up there. It's kind of like the indices, rules a little bit. The power rule meant you multiplied the terms, so here we're multiplying. Now that's a power. When you multiply your indices, you add the terms. Same with here, you're adding, so you multiply the arguments. Very similar. And then, just understanding what this means. 10 to the power of what is 100? 2. Okay. So great question, really good question there. So that's A. And then we've got question B. So question B, same thing again, but we've got some algebra in the way. So let's not be confused. Let's just apply the exact same logic, but with some algebra. Okay, so take away log 2, 3 equals 5. Okay, so this time I've got a takeaway. So that's a divide, isn't it? So log base 2, 7x take away 2 over 3. That's now my argument, okay? I'm dividing, and that is equal to 5. So what does that mean? Well, that means that 2 to the power of 5 has to equal 7x take away 2 over 3. It's just the same as this, isn't it? I'm moving my 2 over here, and that gets rid of the log, So, yeah, 2 to the power of this is this argument. Brilliant. So now I just start to rearrange it. 2 to the power of 5. So what's that? 4, 8, 16, 32. Brilliant. And 7x take away 2. Times it by 3. So that's going to be 96. Add on the 2 for 98. And then you're doing a little divide. So 98 divided by 7. It's going to be 14. I mean, look at that. For 6 marks all in. Think how much work comes in as well, but think how much work we had to do. Again with this one as well. There was 5 marks in here for these two. But just look, if we went back to this question, look how much work there was there for that 1 mark. All that substitution, quite a lot in there. Even here, there was a wee bit of thinking about that one. Oh, the integration here, look at all that working. All that was just worth 1 mark. So actually, it's a really excellent use of your time to understand your rules of logs. 6 marks in there. That was quick as anything, wasn't it? So get your logs, get your wave, further calculus, all those skills, because to get 6 marks in, say, a polynomials question or a straight line question, so much more work needs to be done because the skills aren't too tricky. All right. So, yep, that's question 14. Hope that's helpful.